Good morning, it's Mary McIndoe, and Mary made a journal, and today I'm doing kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. I'm not finished with my junk mail journal yet, but a couple of things have come up in the meantime, and I just thought I'd video them in case they prove to be beneficial to others, or they could be beneficial to others. The first thing I'm doing is I bought from the Dollar Tree some of those glue spreaders that I see people using. They're the silicone masks that are used in applying, or silicone brushes that are used in applying masks. And I've seen people use them to spread their glue, and I'm just wondering, because I really, I mean, I like art glitter glue, but tacky glue I think is less expensive and easier to come by sometimes. And so I was wondering if we could, I'm doing kind of a test to see. I'm applying the art glitter glue with this brush, and I'll tell you the truth, I'm having a hard time getting it out to the edges. But that's just probably because I didn't start with enough glue. But at any rate, here we go. This is going to be a test. I'm going to put this piece at the top here, the little strip of cardstock I have hanging around, and I'm going to glue it down, push it down just like I would anything else. Get my credit card, or my plastic card, and spread it all out so there aren't any air bubbles. And we'll have this side, and I will mark that tacky glue, and it's not real. I mean, it's pretty, it's evenly spread, and it's not super wet. Now with another piece I'm going to tear off of this same little strip of paper. Here we go. I'm going to, at the bottom, apply it with tacky glue. And I guess to be fair, I should try to get a piece that covers the whole strip, just like I did at the top. So with this, I'm just going to apply art glitter glue, and the way you normally would, and see if there is any difference in the sticking ability. And I doubt I'll be able to track the dry time. I don't know, I'll set my watch timer and I'll go in and check. And I can tell already this is going to dry much faster. The art glitter glue has it hands down because it doesn't even feel wet. Whereas up here, it still feels a little bit wet, and it obviously is bending up. So they're going to win. I give them automatically already, art glitter glue, a win in terms of dry time. But in terms of sticking ability, I mean, this is still, it's still a little damp, but it's not real damp. And I did apply, to be fair, I did apply several coats. So let me go over this with a credit card too, just in case there's any air bubbles or anything in it. So we're fair on both of them. And I will mark this tacky glue. This is art glitter glue. And we'll just come back to that in a little while and see how it's faring. I think I'm going to stick it under my mat here and get it to dry down. I'll put a timer on for 30 minutes, and then I will pull it out and get back with you. Okay, it's Mary. I'm back again. It's been 30 minutes since I put this test piece under my mat with the tacky glue at the top and the art glitter glue at the bottom. And I am going to say that right now, the tacky glue is still just a little, it just, you can feel the wetness in it, whereas you can't in the art glitter glue. But it's adhering just fine. There's no loose edges. There's no obvious bumps or bubbles or lines that you can see in the glue application. And actually the art glitter glue right here, And, you know, it's just because I didn't apply it. Well, actually this too, I didn't apply it all the way to the top. So you do have to get all the way to the top, which apparently I didn't do in that one area. But I'm going to say that tacky glue really is just about as effective and drying as the art glitter glue. That's just my personal opinion in this very primitive first step. I'll keep you apprised as to how this stays together. I might put this like out in the sun for a little while this afternoon and see if that has any bearing on how things continue to stick. Stay tuned on this one. It'll be an ongoing little series. It'll be short, but ongoing. Just for a quick update, before I take it out to the sun, I did go ahead and apply art glitter glue to this corner that was peeling up, and I applied some tacky glue to that corner that was peeling up. And now I'm going to take it outside for, I'll say an hour. Okay, it's now been an hour since I put the test strip with the tacky glue and the art glitter glue outside. And I will say this, now there is very little difference in the feel of the two. So obviously it still takes the tacky glue a little bit longer to dry, but it didn't leave lumps and bumps, and it went down very smoothly and easily using the spreader that I bought from Dollar Tree. I just took the spreader. The spreader was a little concave. It's for applying mask to your face, and I put it in my guillotine trimmer at an angle and evened it out. I mean, it's not a straight line across, but it's flat where it hits the surface. And so I'm going to continue to play with this. I'm going to try watering down the tacky glue. I've heard that, in fact, in a journal that I did that I still haven't finished and is actually next on my list of things to do, I did water down some tacky glue when applying some of the collage pieces to my project. And so I'm wondering if watering down the tacky glue will have any effect. So I'm going to get another little strip of cardstock and do some watered down tacky glue and some art glitter glue and see what the differences are there. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess parts so that it's how one would use it after having glued it down. And we'll just see how well this stays together. I'll probably end up cutting into it at some point. Sorry about that noise. Cutting into it at some point and just seeing how well it sticks. But right now, I don't have anything coming up on any edge. Now that was after I, let me go ahead and just had a strange cut on the end, cut it straight. But after I glued down the two pieces on each section that were tacky, now it's completely adhered uniformly. So I'll be back with some watered down tacky glue and further this experiment along. Okay, so now we're going to water down some tacky glue. I've got some water in a little bottle here that I keep at my side a good bit. And I've got my tacky glue, and I'm going to try to do it 50-50. It's obviously going to be strictly a guess, but we'll just take what we can get. So there is the tacky glue watered down. I might add just a little bit more tacky glue. It seems a little like we have heavy on the water. But who knows? This is far from scientific. And so I'll continue to stir it up. Okay, so now I have my tacky glue, and I'm going to get a book out to glue onto. And this time my cardstock is white on the back, and it's got a printed back. It's got a light blue print, just to see, just checking all different things in terms of how things run. And I've also watered, that certainly went down a lot faster than it did the first time being watered down. I've also inked the edges with some Tim Holtz Distress ink. I think it's Distress Oxide ink, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that makes a difference to how it will. And you can see that here on the gluing surface that I used, which would be similar to the gluing surface you would use with a glue stick. there on the gluing surface, some of the paint did, or the ink did come off. So now I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and again, this is full strength because I'm wanting to compare, and I'm trying to get it out to all the edges. And I'll take my hand and actually, my finger rather, and actually spread it out and place it down so that hopefully we won't get any edges that have to be re-adhered after the initial drying time. So I'm going to do this from the back. Both of them, both pieces feel about the same now. Actually, the tacky glue being watered down feels like it's, and I didn't mark which was which, but I'm pretty sure this was the tacky glue up here because I remember the little fringe. So that's tacky glue watered down, and this is art glitter glue. Again, feeling them, that they feel about the same level of wetness. Looking at the back, there's this one, the watered down, which I would expect has a little bit more bumps and whatnot from being wet. So I'm going to stick this under here, and we'll say, well, leave it, I can't remember what I did last time. I think it was 30 minutes. I left it for, so I'll leave it for another 30 minutes and I'll be back to talk to you. Okay, it's been a half an hour since I glued everything down, and I have to say that with the watered down glue stick, everything appears to be pretty much co-equal. I would say that there is a little bit more buckling on the back of the watered down glue than on the art glitter glue, but otherwise everything seems to be pretty much equal. There are no edges coming up. Everything looks good. Now I'm just going to, I'm not going to put this out in the sun like I did the other one, but I'm just going to put these aside for a couple weeks, put it on my calendar to pull them back out and see if there's any difference that I can notice from now till then. Thanks for being with me on this silly little experiment of mine. Hi, it's Mary. I'm coming back to you with my tacky glue versus art glitter glue experiment that I started. It was about 10 days ago, I think. Not quite 2 weeks like I had originally thought, but I wanted to go ahead and get it done. This is the original strip that I had glued. This has tacky glue at full strength at the top and art glitter glue at full strength at the bottom. And I will say that when you use the tacky glue full strength versus the art glitter glue is much more pliable. This is much stiffer. Okay, so I really think you need to water it down some in order to achieve more of an art glitter glue kind of permanent way of looking at it. Then this is the one, this is the sheet that I did where I watered down, and it was a pretty good water down. It was like more than, I would say more than 50% water and 50%, 48% or 45% tacky glue. And then on the bottom is just straight art glitter glue. And the differences between these, I have to say, I'm trying to think if this paper is just regular copy paper. And again, on this one, it came up a little bit on the top side. So I'm going to apply a little bit more tacky glue under there and wash it. Just let it dry, but that's not going to affect the bulk of the experiment. But it did allow me to verify that this was just regular copy paper as opposed to cardstock. This is a lightweight cardstock, that the blue that it's put on, the blue strip. But this is a watered down tacky glue, and this is art glitter glue. And in feeling these, I have to say, they feel about the same, although I think the art glitter glue feels a little bit sturdier. So my thought on it was, I was going to do today, and this will be the last time I film anything on it, unless I find out something amazingly different. I think we need to water down the tacky glue just a little bit less. In other words, instead of 50-50, what I did this morning was I just spritzed, I put the tacky glue in first, and then I just used my water spritzer here to spray in some water to loosen it up a little bit. And I think that's going to give us probably a better result. If I find out different, of course, I'll let you know, but it just seems to make sense that that would be the case, or to me, it seems to make sense that that would be the case. I don't know. That's my feeling on it. So this time, the tacky glue is a little bit stronger, or a lot stronger. I would say probably the ratio would be at most 80-20, 5, 15. And that's at absolute most. So I'm trying this on, oops, that's not what I want. I want this one to dry. I love these things you get at the Dollar Tree or whatever that are meant to be dust cloths. They work really good, in my opinion, for dabbing up the glue, the extra glue that you might end up with. Now I need my credit card, which is right here. And I'm just gonna tacky glue this down a little bit, or push this down. This is another one of the Rachel flips that I had done and had started doing. So I'm sure I glued all of this just with art glitter glue, because the only time I've used the watered down tacky glue is in this experiment so far. But I think I am going to use it in the future. That's my plan. Instead of art glitter glue. I need to actually, I guess, compare the costs and see if there is a difference. I think there is. I know it's easier to come by the tacky glue, because in the wintertime you can't get art glitter glue because it freezes. And I think that's because it has more water in it than the tacky glue does. So that was how I came upon this whole idea. I wish I had brought that up just a little bit to cover that 116. I'll have to put something else up there in the future. But for purposes of what I'm doing today on this video, that's all I really wanted to do was glue down the that one piece of paper to this little fold out that Rachel taught us how to do. So with that, I'm going to switch to a little bit different topic. I mean, it's a similar topic, but the other thing I figured out that we could do with the silicone sticks, let me get another one, is, you know how when you are trying to glue down some die cuts that are thin, and it's hard to get the glue to work out right. Okay, I think I want to place it about right there. So I'm going to put a little mark down here at the bottom where that needs to go, that little V. And if you take your art glitter glue, you know, a lot of people will rub it on their hands, you know, rub it on the back of their palm or the back of their palm to spread the glue out and have it quit being clumpy. I'm almost finished this. You probably think I'm like a dinosaur with this huge tacky glue bottle, or art glitter glue bottle from days gone by, because they now are tall and skinny instead of short and fat. But the reason I have it is my initial order. I never ordered anything in regular size. I ordered it in a size that I think I got one bottle of this with the tip, and then an extra bottle to refill it. So that's why I started with two bottles. I don't know if this is clogged up or not. That wasn't that long ago that I used it, so I would think that it's not clogged, but we'll see. Oh, there it comes. All right, let's get out of the way of it. All right, so you put your glue on, and it's usually clumpy. And a lot of people with little pieces that aren't quite so intricate as this, they'll just take and spread the glue out by rubbing the piece across the back of their hand to kind of spread it out. What I discovered you can do is take the stick and spread it out that way. Even though it's an intricate pattern, it's something that I know I couldn't do on my hand if it was up to me on my own to do. Oops, I'm having a difficult time here. I'm not placing it down quite right, I don't think, because I need this. I know this needs to be kind of over here more to pick it up at the top. So here we go. All right, I'm going to get my rag, press down, get the extra glue up. Oops, looks like I missed this or waited too long on this spot, so I'll just add some to the back to get it to stick down properly. Off screen, this works when I'm not filming it. I had no problem doing this. Of course, you know, to get the camera going and everything quits working on you. So I'll blame it on that, because this is tearing up badly. And that did not happen in my test run. So something will have to cover that up in the end. And then up here at the top, we're going to do the same thing. Figure out where it needs to go. Which, unfortunately, I guess I should have done the top one first. That would have been a better strategy if I had done this first. Live and learn. But anyway, so I'm putting the art glitter glue all over that piece. And now I'm taking my little silicone makeup applier and I'm putting that directly on there. That one worked much better. It was a smaller piece, of course. But that's how it worked when I tried it off camera too. Oops, I'm way off screen, I apologize. But you really didn't want to see that. It's kind of ugly how that went down. I think I'm gonna open up my new art glitter glue bottle for future filming because that bottle is pretty much seen much better days. So what I did with this, I saw Rita's video this morning that she had done, Rita Jensen, and she had done one of those paper pad books, and so I made a paper pad book. And I got glue on the inside. Just not making a good example here of what I'm trying to prove. But anyway, I made a little book out of some coffee dyed scraps. Okay. So don't tell me this is stuck down too. So this just slides in the back here. So I stapled it at the top. I don't have one of those cute little mini staplers. So I have big staples back there, and I may or may not put something on top of that to cover it up. But this way you can replace the pad. The advantage of this is, you know, like you use the pad and you can replace it. And obviously I'm going to have to do something. Maybe I'll put a Velcro piece there. That's what I'll probably do, so that it'll stay closed and it just won't meet there. And then I'll have to figure out something to put on the bottom to cover up my little boo-boo down there. But at any rate, that's how my I think they call it matchstick. Well, I guess matchstick would be at the bottom, but my little trifold envelope, and mine was like 11 inches long. This was just a piece of blue paper that I had on hand, and it was cut at 11 inches long. So I just put it on my scoreboard and figured out what I wanted to do, and did it. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to go get those Velcro dots, I think, and Velcro dot it down.